Hi, welcome to Campus Culture. I'm Danielle McCollum. Missouri Southern State University, located here in Joplin, Missouri, provides nearly 200 academic programs to over 6,000 students. In these 200 academic programs are many clubs and activities that take place here on campus. Today, we're going to delve into some of these clubs and activities to better understand the campus culture that takes place here at MSSU. The theater department at MSSU does a variety of productions. This holiday season, they are portraying what it is like to be in a toy store that can come to life. Next, Natalie Cossey speaks with a few members of the cast of Christmas at the Old Toy Store.
Hi, I'm Natalie Cossey. Welcome to this edition of Campus Culture. Today I'm joined with 3 students from the Southern Theater Department, here to talk about the upcoming show and a little bit about their theater background. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Good. Thank you for being here to talk about theater. It's exciting stuff. If you guys could introduce yourselves and tell me about your theater background.
Well, my name's Cameron Lopez. I've been doing theater since I was 5 years old. I started out in community theater in my hometown in Neodesha, Kansas, and then I just went to various events around the community. I did the Inch Festival, I did Fall Festival musicals and plays, and I got started in theater. First, what got me started actually was the high heels, the makeup, and the sequins. I loved it. It was great, the spectacle, because when you're a kid, that's really all you know. You don't really have respect for any kind of acting or performing at that time. And then as I started to learn more, I fell in love with the stories and the characters, so that's what it's all about for me.
And what year are you here at Southern?
I'm a junior. Next year will be my senior year.
And your plans for after graduating from the theater department?
I would love to go to graduate school, wherever that is. I don't know, but whichever graduate school will take me at the time. And I just want to finish my training, and then hopefully when I get out, do anything that has to do with performing arts. I don't care what it is, just anything.
Nice. All right. And for you?
I'm Valerie. I started theater in high school, my freshman year.
Okay.
My first part was playing a little boy. So I've always enjoyed theater because there are so many opportunities and chances to play anything or be anything. And yeah.
And where do you see the theater taking you?
Well, at the moment, I don't know. I do love opportunities and chances in life, so whatever happens, whatever comes along, I'm ready.
That's a nice outlook there.
I'm Chelsea Skaggs. I started theater about middle school. What really got me into it is the technical side, the behind the scenes, being organized and stuff like that. Like I'd love being stage manager is mainly what I do. I auditioned for the children's show just because it was fun and it sounded adorable, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, tell us about the children's show.
The children's show is called Christmas at an Old Toy Store, and it is about a bunch of toys having to defend themselves from some gangsters, per se, when they end up being seen, because toys aren't supposed to move or talk. And so when grown-ups see them, it's weird. People want to show other people, but it's not a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the play is written by?
Lyle Burrow.
Okay.
He's also directing it.
Nice. Very cool. And he's an active member of the Southern community.
He is our assistant technical director?
Yes.
Yeah, assistant technical director.
Very nice. Is it good working with someone like that who's in the theater all the time and so who knows you all very well?
Oh, it's great. He didn't per se write the characters for specific people in the department, but he also kept in mind the people in the department while he was writing it. So when people audition, he's like, oh, clearly that character's perfect for this actor kind of thing. Right. So it really does fit with the personalities for the actors who have the characters.
I'm so excited to see it. I would like to know a little about your characters in the show. Can you tell me about that?
My character is Cutie Doll, and she's a younger doll, still an antique toy though, who gets distracted by a new dress she gets. And so she doesn't quite pay attention to everything else going on around her.
Right. Okay. And yours?
I'm Lou. I'm the old tin soldier. I don't have an arm. Why? Well, I'm going to have to elaborate that in my journaling. So as I keep writing as an actor, I've got to figure that out. But I'm the oldest in the toy store. I came before any of the toys. And at first, when I went to this toy store, I was Lou's enemy. And now I'm one of his most favorite toys. And I just try to keep everyone in line.
Nice.
I'm Dolly, kind of based off of Raggedy Ann, but Raggedy Ann is copyrighted, so we can't say that. She is one of the older toys, maybe not nearly as old as Lou, but much older than Cutie herself. She's kind of a brat. She doesn't like that Cutie gets her new dress, and all she gets is a ribbon kind of stuff, but she's also very, very family-oriented. She kind of lost her brother on the way getting to the toy store, and that's all she really thinks about. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I know in the theater that we really have to get into characters and explore not only inside while we're rehearsing, but definitely outside and at home to really put that character fully on stage. How has that been developing your character?
Developing a character is really fun. There's a lot of different techniques you can do. Google Images, some people like to look up Google Images of dolls or tin soldiers or teddy bears. And then there's journaling, of course. And basically what you do with journaling is you write every day a little bit about your character and what makes them the way they are and who they are. And so that's kind of fun because as the show progresses and the more you journal, the more your character evolves.
Nice. And for you?
I would say it's fun as well. I don't really look up Google's that much, but I kind of like go around and I'll be my character at my house.
Okay.
Like Dolly will be cooking dinner, which is very weird because my roommates come out sometimes.
Awesome.
But I am more of a physical type of actor, so I get my entire body into it. I am a doll, which is hard to explain without showing. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun.
Good.
It's great experience and it's really entertaining for my roommates. So.
I bet. Anything specific for you?
Well, actually, to tell you the truth, for me, I never really have just one process of figuring out what my character's like. I mean, I've heard different techniques that can be used from different professors here, but every single time I get a script, I'm always like, oh, how am I going to do this? But I like to try different things. I like to do both what they said, journaling, and also actually trying to role play in that character in like my home setting and whatnot. Sometimes I'll just try really bad ideas, and I just try all these bad ideas about trying to get into a character, and most of them fail. And then out of the failures that I have, will come out like maybe some success. So I try to go from there and just experiment with different things.
Right. Okay. Well, we love having you all here, and we love talking about the upcoming shows because it's important for the community to come out and support you guys and get more culture into their lives. What would you tell outside community members about the show in order to get them to come out?
I would tell them it's a great experience for their whole family, especially their children.
Right.
Because theater, a lot of places don't do theater as much as they used to, and it's still as exciting and wonderful as it was before. So bring your children. And share theater with them.
Yeah. And for other students that are maybe interested in being a part of the theater, what would you say to someone who is interested?
Oh, I'd say that we're a really open community. We accept pretty much anybody, which sounds bad. We accept pretty much anybody, and it's really easy to come in, walk into our department, say hi, say I'd like to be involved somehow, and we will get you involved somehow.
Right.
So.
Okay. Well, thank you all so much again for being here, and we can't wait to see Christmas at the old toy store. So, well, thank you so much. I'm Natalie Cossey.
Our next segment on Campus Culture features Alexis Serio, the featured artist of the Spiva Art Gallery. Let's listen to her speak about her influences in her exhibit titled The Colossal Memory.
Hello, Zachary Dodge here with Alexis Serio, the creator of the art collection, The Colossal Memory, that is being featured here at the Spiva Art Gallery at MSSU. Today I'm going to be speaking with her briefly about her collection. So how has your day been so far?
It's been great. I've talked to a few students that were in Kyle McKenzie's class, so and then lunch and the talk that I gave, so
Cool.
Yeah, it's been great.
Right. How did the talk go?
Oh, I think it went well.
Okay.
Yeah, I just talked a little bit about my work from when I was in college, undergraduate, to the present, and some of my travels, specifically going to Iceland, and how it impacted the work for this show.
Okay. And how did that trip to Iceland impact the work for this work?
Well, one of the things that I did when I was in Iceland, it was for a residency, but the first week I was there, my husband and I traveled the circumference of the country, and so being in such a remote area where there was very little population of people and access to all of these beautiful areas of land and water and glaciers, it impacted it that way, and that I became very interested in the structure of water. So.
Okay, and to go on and go backwards just a little bit, could you explain a little bit behind the collection itself?
Sure. The collection is, well, the majority of the works in here are waterfalls. They're abstracted waterfalls, but I do have some that are also abstracted glaciers, and that came from an idea of water being a metaphor for time, and that's where the abstraction comes through, trying to give the viewer a sense of memory and time, and that waterfalls moving quickly might suggest one moment in time, whereas glaciers moving slowly may suggest another moment in time, or speed in time. And I do see these a lot as designs, because they're very abstract, but the watercolors, the larger pieces, are the ones that are the most recent, and to me they're the most successful in creating a sense of memory and movement. So.
And speaking of memory, why did you choose the name The Colossal Memory for this collection?
That's a good question. And actually, yeah, nobody's asked me that. The idea of colossal memory came to me a while, like right after we returned from Iceland. It was in 2013, the summer, and I was thinking about how my work is always based on memory, but the idea of colossal is being like overpowering. It's huge, it's humongous, it rules everything. And so, the question of, can we have a memory that is so profound and big and important that it's colossal and we carry it with us everywhere we go? And so that's the idea of that these are about.
Okay, that is really interesting. Were there any artists that have been particularly inspiring to you?
Yeah, there have been. And some of the pieces, the people that I presented in the lecture were Maya Lin and Cornelia Parker and Rachel Whitehread. Those are some installation, sculpture-based people that I'm interested in, but also painter-wise. I love the work of Joan Mitchell. I love the work of Cecily Brown, and some more painterly people.
Okay. I understand that you've been a professor at the University of Texas at Tyler since 2004.
Yes.
How has that influenced your work as a artist?
I think it influences my work because it makes me, that along with having kids, it's an obstacle in the art making because it takes up my time and it's a little bit of a distraction, but working with other creative minds is always inspiring, and it helps me manage my time. It also helps me open myself up personally to the creative process a little bit.
Cool. And why did you decide to go into teaching?
Well, it's not really what I would say. When I was younger, I had a real sort of romantic, idealistic sort of thought about the creative environment, and I loved being in school, and I loved being in my art classes, and I just wanted to have that be my life. I was real idealistic in that, and I think that, when I'm in the classroom, that's really the way it is. I love going to work and teaching and being around other students who are creative. And also, there's that hand, but then on the other hand, if I were to win the lottery, would I teach? I don't know if I would. I would probably maybe do a little bit, but not, full time. So it's also a vehicle for me to have time to make my work, so, because it's not a 9-to-5 sort of job.
Is there any advice that you would give to aspiring artists?
Yeah, I think one thing I would say is be persistent in what you want to do, and don't be distracted easily. I think there's a lot of things that can distract you or give you excuses to not make art, because that is the hard thing to do. It's not a vocation. You go in, and if you want a life that's creative and you're passionate enough, you will make that life happen if you're persistent enough. And then the other thing I would say is, one of the things I talked about in my talk is be observant and leave your comfort zone, like leave home, travel, see the world.
Okay.
Those are big things,
Right. Alrighty. Well, are there any questions that you have for me?
No?
Nope. Okay. Well, thank you very much for taking time to speak with me today.
Sure, my pleasure.
And your collection is fantastic.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you for joining us, and stay tuned.
Many different students make up MSSU, and some have traveled from as far as South Korea to attend this institution. Tommy Jung is just one of the many international students choosing to further his education here at Missouri Southern. Andrew Farthing talked with Tommy about his time here at MSSU.
Hello, Lions. My name is Andrew Farthing. I am a mass communication student here at Missouri Southern, and I'm joined by international student Tommy, who's going to speak with us today a little bit about his experience here at MSSU. How are you doing today?
How are you? I'm doing good.
Great, thanks. So let's go ahead and start off by, why don't you tell our audience here where you're from?
I'm from South Korea. Well, Seoul is
Seoul.
where I'm from. Yeah.
Awesome, very cool.
Yeah.
So you go by the name Tommy.
That's
which
right.
I'm assuming is not a typical South Korean name.
No.
So would you like to kind of explain to us how you came upon that name?
Sure. Yeah. So basically in Korea we don't have our English names. So basically we can just pick whatever we want. For example, when you watch a movie and if you like the name of the name of the character there, you can just pick that name as well. But I picked up my name actually from my uncle because my uncle used to stay in California for 10 years and his name was Tommy. And I was like, I actually kind of like the name Tommy. So if I study abroad or if I study in the US, I'll probably use the name Tommy. That's how I picked my name.
So you guys basically kind of pick a name. So when you
Yes.
come here, it's easier for people to
True.
pronounce the name. So what is your name in Korea? What do you
It's-
go by?
Chong Tae Song.
So Tommy's definitely a little easier
Yes.
for people to pronounce.
Yes, absolutely.
So at what age or a milestone in your life did you kind of decide, I want to study in the United States. I want to move there and spend this portion of my life in a completely different country?
I think it kind of started when I was about 12 or 13 years old because, I just watched a lot of like American movies, drama, and so I kind of had that American dream, just
Yeah.
kind of want to study there, get interactions with American people, just learn about their culture, their food, their costumes, and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I really planned for, I think, and I think it really happened to me, so I'm pretty excited and happy about it,
Awesome.
Yeah.
So with your move here, what were some of the challenges as far as getting the move started and getting out here? How did you get that figured out?
You mean like
Just making the move happen. What were some of the struggles with just getting the move to happen?
I mean, I looked at the school from online, so it was really, really hard for me because I don't know anything about this school. I don't know anything about Missouri or the United States.
Yeah.
So I had to look up everything online. So it was really, really, really hard for me because I don't have any family members. I didn't have any friends back then. So yeah, it was pretty hard just to look it up online.
Yeah. So once you got here in the United States, what was your first impression? Like walking off the plane, soaking it in. What did you think first?
Well, I almost cried when I first got here because it was like, kind of like the thing, dream comes true. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never thought that I'm going to come to this country. I never thought that I see all these American people, and they look different, I'm an Asian guy, their look and my look is different. So it felt really good for me,
It's a good experience.
It's an experience, yes, for sure.
So out of all the schools in the United States,
Right.
there are thousands of universities.
Yes.
Why Missouri Southern? What made you pick this school?
Well, that's a really good question, actually. I looked at about 20 different schools online when I was in Korea, and then I applied to actually 20 different schools. The reason I came to Missouri Southern is because the tuition is very affordable for me, and for other international students, I'm sure. And also, I was able to get a lot of transfer credits because I'm a transfer student, And so, yeah, I decided here, and there's a person named Laura. She works for the international students, and she was very friendly when I asked her questions about Missouri Southern. And also Professor Bryant, who's my advisor, he helped me a lot to really transfer and to have that credit hours here in Missouri
That makes
Southern.
it a lot easier, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So you are a transfer student. What is your major here at Missouri Southern?
Mass communications.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And were you a mass communication student in Korea before you transferred?
I studied in the Philippines 5 years.
Okay.
So I took mass communication from there, and actually just sticking with the one major. That way I can graduate in time. And I really like the major mass communication.
So the classes you took there were able to transfer here.
That's right.
and
Some
go
of them,
towards-
were able to transfer to
Well,
here.
that's good. That
Yeah.
helps a lot.
Yeah, it helps a lot. Yeah, for sure.
So, you're a mass communication student, and as I understand, you're graduating this December.
That's right.
Which is really exciting.
I'm really happy about this. Yeah.
So, what are your plans after you graduate?
Well, in Korea we have 2 years mandatory military service program, so that's what I'm going to do because I haven't joined the military yet. I decided to actually have my education first here in the U.S., so I'm almost done with it. So right after I graduate, I'm going back to Korea, join the military for 2 years, and after I'm done with the military service, I'll be able to find a job in Korea.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, as far as jobs in your career in the future, what do you think you're looking for in the communications field?
Yeah, I actually wanted to work at the TV station or like a commercial company in Korea, but I want to have something that's related with like English language, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, in Korea, you know, it's getting globalized, so there are a lot of people, you know, like interacting with other foreigners and things like that. So I want to have like a program or something like that that has to do with a lot of foreigners, a lot of international people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So, once you leave Missouri Southern, which I'm sure you're sad to,
Very sad about it. Yeah.
what do you think you'll miss the most about the university itself?
Obviously, the people. I just love the people here. My friends, my professors. They are very warm-hearted people. I cannot say all of them are, but many of the people that I met here are really, really nice people. I just love the people. I just love being here in Joplin in MSSU. You know, just gave me so much experience, and then you know, I'm just gonna cherish this time. I'm sure in the future.
Well, I'm glad that you got to have this experience. I'm glad you got to come here and join our school.
Yeah.
Thank you for meeting with me, Tommy. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it and sharing some of your cultural experiences here at Missouri Southern. This is Andrew Farthing reporting to you from the broadcast station at Missouri Southern.
For our final segment, we speak with Leslie Smith about an upcoming trip to Spain.
Hello, Zachary Dodge here with Leslie Smith, a professor of Spanish here at MSSU. Today we're going to be talking about the upcoming trip to Spain in the summer of 2016. Hello, Leslie. How are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you.
Okay. To start off, could you tell us just a little bit of general information about the trip to Spain?
Sure. So based on the theme semester this fall being Spain, we took students to Spain last summer to sort of kick it off. And so we're going to repeat the same trip again in 2016.
Okay. And could you take us through the trip itinerary?
Sure. So it is an academic trip, so it does count as summer school. The students who participate in the trip receive 3 credits of upper division Spanish.
Okay.
And it's they receive that credit regardless of whether or not they are actually in upper division Spanish classes or not.
Okay.
And the reason we do that is we know that our students are surrounded by Spanish all day for 4 weeks. And so we think that that's deserving of upper division credit because of all the extra time spent outside the classroom that they are involved with the Spanish language and culture. So because it is an academic class, the students do attend courses in the morning, Monday through Friday, for about 3.5 hours per day. And then in the afternoons, we always have cultural activities each day from about 4 p.m. until about 8 p.m. every day. And then on the weekends, we also take short day excursions to other places of interest.
What do you think is one of the things that students take from the trip?
Well, Salamanca is a very beautiful city, and it's very different from Joplin. So, for example, it has 4 times as many people as Joplin does, but it is 1/4 of the size of Joplin. So everything is much more compact. And so for our students who are used to living in the 4-state area where things are sort of spread out, and it's not unusual to, you know, hop in your car and go to Springfield for the day, Spain is not that large, so hopping in your car and going to Springfield or Kansas City is really getting to a totally different part of Spain. So those kinds of things are really interesting geographically for the students to take advantage of. And then, of course, participating in the Spanish, they live with host families, so they are immersed. Living with the family prepares all their meals, so they get to eat authentic food. So I think there's a lot of advantages for our students, especially those who haven't traveled much outside the 4-state area, to really see how different it is in other parts of the world.
Cool. And do you have to be a Spanish major to take this trip? No,
in fact, you don't even have to be a Spanish minor to go on this trip. We do have grants available from the Institute of International Studies, and so there is a process by which students who are majors and minors in Spanish receive preference, as do students who are more advanced than other students. However, this trip is open to anyone on campus who meets the prerequisite, which is Spanish 102 or the equivalent, which in this case would typically be about 2 years of high school Spanish. And that would also include people who have life experience with Spanish. I mean, I've had people last year who had never taken a class at Missouri Southern, but they had enough Spanish. And they were able to go. So it's really open to everyone. And what's great about the classes that they take is that they are in classes with people at their level. So if I have a group of students and have a very wide range of ability, the people that have less ability don't have to be worried, because they'll be in classes during the day with people at their level. When we have the afternoon activities and the weekend excursions, we kind of flip back and forth between English and Spanish just to try to get as much in as we can. But it is really open to anyone who can meet the prerequisite, and I would encourage people, if they are interested in just having a study abroad experience and they meet the prerequisite, to participate, because it's a different kind of a trip than one where you just go for 10 or 12 days.
Right.
We really do live there. You live with families. You really do get to experience the culture and the country, and so I think it would be great for anyone.
Yeah. It sounds like it would be a fantastic
It's
trip to go
great.
on.
I really think it's a great trip, if I do say so myself.
Right. And how many are you being able to take this year?
I'm going to take 10 students
10
this
students?
year.
Okay. So definitely get applications in quickly.
As soon as possible, right? Because I want to be able to buy the plane tickets as well and
Right.
get the best price possible. So the sooner the better would be great.
And what is that application process?
So I have a brochure, and in the brochure it explains a lot of the things that we've talked about today. And then in it there's also an application form, and the student would just fill that out, kind of rip off the back page and submit that to me. And then hopefully that number will fill up and we'll get 10 students right away.
Right.
And then I would notify that student if they received the grant,
Right.
and we'd go on from there.
Yeah, I'd imagine you'll probably get them pretty quickly.
I hope so.
Yeah. What are some of the deadlines for that?
Well, ideally I would like to know who all the participants are by the end of January, so that I can begin, looking at the best tickets, both the departure times and the cities, and hopefully reserve the tickets sometime in February. There is a deposit due, I believe, around February 13th.
Okay.
It's a similar deadline to lots of other trips. And so that's kind of the first time that students need to put money down, is in February.
February. Okay. And if students want more information, how can they contact you?
Well, come see me. My email address is a little different than everyone else's, Smith-Leslie.
Okay.
And so they can email me, they can call, they can come by any of the offices here in Webster Hall, and someone can point them in the right direction as to where my office is located. Contact us by phone, email, any way.
Okay, cool. Are there any comments that you would like to make that we haven't talked about yet today?
Well, I just think that students at Missouri Southern have a unique opportunity to study abroad. Many other campuses, similar of our size, don't have the types of trips that we offer at such a reasonable price.
Right.
And I would say that for not only my trip, but all of the other trips. So just as a general comment, I would highly encourage students to try to take advantage of a study abroad opportunity while they're here at Missouri Southern, because once you graduate and you're working, there just won't be that opportunity, there will be that time. And so I really encourage students to take advantage of it, because it is something that is unique, and sometimes we take for granted that these opportunities will be available later. And Missouri Southern faculty work really hard to make these trips worthwhile, academic, and an unforgettable experience. So I would really encourage students to consider, no matter the country, to try to participate.
Cool. All right. And yeah, Dr. Stebbins does a fantastic job running the Institute. Well, thank you very much for taking the time out to talk with me today. And thank you for joining us. If you would like any more information on the trip to Spain, just contact Leslie Smith at smith-leslie@mssu.edu. Thank you for joining us again, and have a fantastic day.
That's it for this edition of Campus Culture. I'm Danielle McCollum, and thanks for watching.